hi, and I'm immensely grateful to be standing here and talking to TEDx FIFB women. So the talk today is all about art of being invisibly visible. To hold too tight is to suffocate, and to let loose is to drift away. The art is in the mid ground. To be seen without being seen, to guide without being felt. This poem is written by one of my close friends, Shivi Goyal, and it also reminds me of an iconic movie, Bollywood movie, Mr. India. You all must have seen it, right? A commoner, the Anil Kapoor's character, gained the power of invisibility and uses it to help others, not to escape the life, to help others without being seen. And then it struck me today is isn't this what all of us, the midlife women, are doing? Not seeking the spotlight, but we are always there and present whenever needed. So, hi, I am Deepali Wilson, the principal of Delhi Public School, Chhatarpur, Madhya Pradesh. And today I'm going to talk about a philosophy which is very close to my heart. It has changed the way I parent, I mentor, and live. The art of being invisibly visible. Especially when I'm circling the midlife, it becomes more relevant. This is a phase where all my childhood dreams have come back to mock me. You remember those days when we were young and we thought then, if I have a lot of money, I'm going to eat 100 pani puris all at once. And now we have all the money. But after three pani puris, my stomach is enough thrill for today. You cannot go beyond that. Let me start this uh, with a experience I had when from my college days. I was teaching or tutoring a second grader. All college girls, they used to tutor for those extra pocket money, and I used to go to her place to teach her. And her mother was always there with coffee, water, snacks, and she was trying to correct my teaching techniques, checking her daughter's assignment. It was getting on my nerves, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to lose those extra bucks. But then a life threw a curveball. I was down with the typhoid. And as the final exams were approaching, I requested the mother to send her daughter or the kid to my place instead of me going to hers. And guess what? She did exceptionally well, and her grade shot up. So the secret ingredient was not the extra academic support I was giving or her mother's input. It was the space that child needed to explore and experiment for her own abilities. And I learned one thing. The best thing sometimes you can do is to step back and give that space to others to grow. And this isn't only my personal realization. There is a Harvard study who says, or who, they have found out that the overprotective parents children are 70% more likely to undergo stress and anxiety. So take a pause here and think, 70% more likely. It is like saying if you're going to help too much or hover too much, you are handing them over a lifetime club membership of stress and anxiety. Have you seen those mothers? As a principal, I have every year we organize sports day. And have you seen those mothers who are running alongside their track and telling their children, come on, run faster, run fast. So as if the child doesn't know, he knows that he has to run fast to best to his ability to get that medal or trophy. But and in when I was a preschool teacher, I also saw a woman handing over a banana in mid race to her son and telling, better take a bite, you will get some energy. And that poor child, he was so confused that he stopped midway, not knowing whether he's supposed to run or he's supposed to take a bite. And of course he came last, and she was very upset about it. So, I know balancing can be tough at times. Imagine a Indian joint family. Picture a kid who's learning to ride or pedal a bicycle, and there are 4 to 5 people telling him, "Watch out, be careful, wear your knee guards," and then uncle is running alongside that, falling himself to save that kid. Balancing is that tough, but the child will only learn if we let go. If you leave that bicycle, you let go, and the child will learn. And I'll admit, letting go is easier said than done, because we mothers, especially us, we have PhD in over involvement. And how many times we must have heard and said, our children cannot raise even a finger without us. This mindset comes 50% out of our love and care we have for our kids, but 50% from the terror we have that they will mess up. And we are so scared of them failing that we are ready to overshadow them in the Ludo game, neighbor's Ludo game. But here is a fact we ignore always, that failing is not the opposite of success, it's a part of that process. When my son in the sixth grade he started doing his own homework assignments, I had to literally sit on my hands to stop correcting him. Let's say his initial assignments were very creative in answers, but with the time he improved, and not only he improved, he started believing his own abilities. Midlife is, when we all realize that now life has shifted gears, and it's a phase, it's a transformation for all of us, which is very unique and very deeply personal. And the challenges and solutions are different for different people. And similarly, the parenting in this at this phase is also very unique. But at the core, we all mothers are same. So imagine everybody's house will have a morning routine where one child is running to find the uniform, the others has lost the homework, and your husband must have lost the car key again. And right at that moment, there is a milkman continuously ringing doorbell to deliver the milk. And the only sane person is the dog who sits on the couch to watch that drama. So, parenting a preteen is like a master class in patience and emotions. And as a principal, as I also shared, that my life revolves around the events we do throughout the year: sports day, annual day, and carnivals. So once at that means I had to work late evenings very often, planning meetings, execution. And one such evening, when my son was 12 years old, he said with that confidence of master chef contestant, "Ma, today dinner is on me. I'm going to cook for both of us." I was like, I had to physically restrain myself from shouting how much salt and how much dal and how much water you have to put in the cooker, because that was his moment to shine. I had to stop myself. And fast forward to the dinner, when I went, there was a soup pretending to be a dal, and the rice who had the ambitions of becoming a paste. But the smile and the pride of my son turned that culinary disaster into a 5-star meal. Nothing tastes better than the independence served with the side of love. And the core idea of being invisibly visible is not about disappearing into the background. It is about empowering others while finding your own space. And it is also like being the sun. You nurture everyone around you, but you do not demand the spotlight. Slowly and slowly, as you grow in your life, you'll if when you try and give that space to others, you will also have time to follow that fitness regime you always wanted to. You wanted to join the dance class, you can do that. And also you can learn, take up new any hobby, reinvent yourself, etc. It's our chance and opportunity to shine, but not to shine alone, to shine with everyone else around us. Here is the analogy I love most as a principal and as a mother. Think of yourself as a gardener, and your child or your parenting is just like being a gardener. You are there to nurture, you are there to provide the right conditions, you are there to trust the process of growth. When are a parent, or you are mentoring the young children, you are planting a seed, a tiny seed which represents the child's potential, individuality, etc. And you will give them all the right condition, water them with love and decide how much to water, give them the sunlight and warmth in the right amount, prune gently, sometimes weed out, protect them. But you are not there to design the shape of the tree. You're not going to tell them, you please grow tall like a palm tree or grow wide like a banyan tree. You will accept how they are growing. Could be crooked growth, could be tall, can be unexpected shoot of branches will come out. You're going to accept all that. And trust me, I walked this path myself as a single mother. It was very hard to know when to step in, when to step back. Sometimes I feel I overwatered and I was very overprotective and didn't, he was not able to experience the confidence he should have been. I kept him in shade for too long and shielded him from experience to build that could have built his resilience. Sometimes gave too much of sunshine and pushed him perhaps too soon. He wasn't ready for the results what I was expecting. But all this, in this entire process, I have realized there is no perfect technique of parenting. By all trials and errors, you grow. And today, when I look back at myself and him with compassion. We have come far off. We have grown together. We are not perfect, but yes, stronger. We are there. In this journey, I would like to give you certain things when you are doing this, or when you are trying to be invisibly visible for your children. Try to step back slowly. Start with small things, let them decide what to wear, how, whether to wear blue shirt or a black shirt. Let them choose their own hobby classes. Try to take this journey into smaller steps. Be their safety net, not controllers. So offer help only when they are asking, and do not take over. If they ask help in the project, school project is not for all of us. No, it is for them. We are only to provide a minimal assistance. Also, find joy for yourself. Learn something new, build some skills, do whatever, reconnect with your old friends. And last not the least, there is an African proverb which says, you need a village to raise a child. Build your own village, build your own support system. That's very important. And at the end, I would just like to share my personal story with you all, that losing my husband in a road accident was devastating. Overnight, my life changed. I was a widow, a single mother to my young son and his life anchor. Grief, fear, uncertainty were my daily companions. But in this mid of all this chaos, there was an unshakable truth I had to face, that I had to raise my son, my boy, to stand on his own 2 feet. The primary, it was very difficult. All I had to deal with lot of patience. Well, while there was a turmoil inside me, I had to teach him to be independent. And believe me, independence, giving him independence, that was not a choice, it was the necessity of that time for me. Folding his clothes does not mean bowling over and hit them in a corner. Clearing the study table is not like you take everything and shove it in a drawer and hope that mummy will not open this one drawer. So, with patience and with laugh at his few first creative attempts, he learned. And the independence grew in him. Not only the independence, the sense of accomplishment grew in him. I could see the pride he takes in small achievements, organizing his own bag, pack, finishing his homework on his own. These were few things which gave him lot of confidence, lot of, and then parenting is always about curve curve roads. There are always turns which never know what is going to be ahead. So handing him a mobile in his pre-teen years was like that. It is like handing him over the Pandora's box probably was easier because it didn't had TikTok that time. This mobile had a TikTok, and I had to teach him boundaries, when to scroll, when to stop. I had to teach him why cat videos are not good or substitute for maths homework. There were times we grows, and there are thousands of moments I can share with you, but a moment which has stuck with me was first time when he took his solo trip. He wanted to go and watch a World Cup cricket match, and that night I was a mess when he was traveling alone. From losing his luggage to alien abducting him, I have thought all. Everything was there in my head. But when he called back, he was full of excitement, stories, and fearless. He was fearless. And that was a moment I realized letting go is not about losing the control, it is about giving them wings. And also knowing that I have done my bit to make him strong, that he will come back if he needs to. So, all beautiful ladies out here, midlife is like we are caught between two mirrors. And in one mirror, you can see the life you have led till date, and the other shows you your dream life, which you want to aspire and you want to lead that. So, we have to, it's a journey from this mirror to that mirror. And it is not, midlife is not the beginning of an end, it is a start of something new, something very bold, and something uniquely yours.